So today we're making honey garlic chicken. Now there's a lot of different variations of this. It's kind of just like a sweet and sour chicken type with a little bit of honey, some sriracha, a little bit of soy sauce. We're gonna do a variation of this. It's gonna kind of taste like bourbon chicken. I made some homemade chili oil. We're gonna add that to it. If you wanna know how to make that, the recipe's on our website. If you like this, please leave me a comment. Don't forget to like and subscribe. So without further ado, let's get to cooking. Honey garlic chicken is a super underrated American Chinese style stir-fry dish. We're going to start off by making the sauce for this stir-fry. In a small bowl, combine 2 tablespoons of light soy sauce, 1 teaspoon of dark soy sauce, about a tablespoon of rice wine vinegar, 1/3 cup of honey, 1/3 cup of chicken or vegetable stock, a half a tablespoon of sriracha, and then 2 tablespoons of our homemade chili oil. The recipe will be on my website. Now, if you don't have chili oil, you can always just use more sriracha for some heat. Then season with some black pepper, and then we're gonna thicken this with a cornstarch slurry by combining 1 teaspoon of cornstarch to 2 teaspoons of cold water. Whisk the sauce until all the ingredients are combined and the honey is dissolved into the sauce, then set aside until you're ready to use. Now let's move on to marinating and velveting the chicken. My personal preference with stir-fry dishes is to use boneless, skinless chicken thighs. We're gonna take the thighs and we're gonna trim off a little bit of fat, and then we're gonna cut them into strips, and then again into 1-inch by 1-inch pieces that are bite size. Place the chicken pieces in a large bowl, and then we're gonna season with 1 teaspoon of a neutral oil such as avocado oil, 2 teaspoons of light soy sauce, about a half a teaspoon of sesame oil, a big pinch of sugar, some black pepper or white pepper, and then to velvet the chicken, we're gonna add a 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda and about 2 teaspoons of cornstarch. By velveting the chicken, it allows the chicken to get super tender. This technique works very well with chicken breasts as it's easier to overcook. Give this all a mix until combined and let marinate for around 20 minutes just before you get ready to stir fry. So while the chicken's marinating, it's a good opportunity to prep your vegetables. So if you're gonna serve it with broccoli and a little bit of jasmine rice, now's the time to do it. So the chicken has been marinating for around 20 to 30 minutes. So now it's time to start stir frying. I recommend using a wok on medium-high heat, but you can also use a large pan if you don't have a wok. Then we're gonna add about a tablespoon of a neutral oil such as avocado oil. And once the oil is hot, we're gonna add the chicken. So what you're gonna wanna do is give that a toss, and then you're gonna take each piece of chicken and press it into the sides of the wok, and it's gonna allow the chicken to make contact and get a nice sear, which is gonna add a ton of flavor. Let that cook for a few minutes undisturbed, then give it a toss, and as you can see here, we have a beautiful crust and color on each piece of chicken. Once the chicken is cooked to about 80 to 90% of the way done, go ahead and remove from the wok and set aside. Now reduce the heat of the wok to medium and add another tablespoon of oil. Next, we're gonna add some shallots that we peeled and diced up nice and fine, along with a big pinch of salt. Let the shallots fry until they change color and turn translucent. Then we're gonna add 3 garlic cloves that we peeled and minced up nice and fine, along with a 1-inch piece of ginger that we peeled and minced up as well. Let the ginger and garlic saute for around 30 seconds to 1 minute or until nice and fragrant, or you can use ginger garlic paste if you can find it. Most Asian markets will carry it. Now we're gonna add all of our sauce directly to the wok, and once it begins to simmer, give it a stir, and you'll notice it'll begin to thicken due to the cornstarch in the sauce, and it'll turn a nice deep rich color. After a few minutes, once the sauce is nice and thick, go ahead and add the chicken directly back to the wok. Give that a stir until combined or until the sauce is coating each piece of chicken. Then we're going to finish with a little drizzle of sesame oil and about 2 teaspoons of Shaoxing wine. If you can't find Shaoxing wine, you can leave it out, but it does add a good depth of flavor. Lastly, we're going to add some green onion that we finely sliced up on a bias, and then we're going to give everything one final toss, make sure the sauce is nice and thick and the chicken is cooked all the way through. Then give it a taste and adjust the salt levels to your liking. Now we're going to get ready to serve up this honey garlic chicken family style in a large bowl. We're going to garnish with a little more green onion and some sesame seeds and serve with the broccoli and jasmine rice on the side. I really hope you guys enjoy this recipe. Please leave me a comment if you end up trying it. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And now it's time to give it a taste. I'm absolutely starving. I can't wait to try this. This is delicious. If you know what bourbon chicken tastes like, it's very close to that stuff that you get in the mall, obviously minus the bourbon. And to be honest with you, I don't even know if the mall's using the bourbon anyways, but it's got a little bit of spice from our chili oil and a little bit of sriracha. But I do have a recipe on my website. Go ahead and check that out if you want to make the homemade chili oil, or you can just buy somebody else's chili oil and add that to it. It should be just fine. So you'll notice that I didn't use a lot of salt in the dish. I did a little bit in the chicken. You don't want to oversalt the dish. The chili oil has a little bit of salt, and then soy sauce is salty, so be careful. In terms of the jasmine rice and the broccoli, broccoli. I personally don't want to do anything special with the broccoli or the rice. I like plain old white rice and I like plain broccoli. No oil, no sauteing the broccoli, no shallots and garlic and stuff with the broccoli. And the reason is because this dish is so rich, I want the rice and the broccoli to cut the richness of the dish. Now, if you want to use chicken breast, I highly recommend velveting the chicken. So what velveting does is it makes the chicken super tender. It actually increases the pH on the surface of the chicken, so it allows it to get super tender when you go to cook it. Chicken thighs are always tender, so when you velvet them, it just makes them extra tender. If you overcook them, they'll still be tender. But if you're gonna use breasts, 100% velvet the chicken, and it'll be tender no matter what. You guys gotta give this recipe a try. Please leave me a comment. Let me know what you wanna see me cook next. If you enjoyed this video or you learned something, give me a like, subscribe. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.